Hi guys, it's time for this week's vlog post, and I hope I can get through it. All of the vlogs are from my heart, and this one truly is. The title of this one is My Styrofoam Fish Sculpture was Stolen. Should I violently protest? During integration in the small city I grew up in Georgia, I was forced to attend the white school. By white, I mean that most of the student body and teachers were Caucasian. It was awful. Forced to leave a school that I loved and to leave my friends wasn't easy. In this vlog, I'll not go into the abuses that I suffered. However, I will let you know that because of them, a lot of my memories of that time frame is missing from my mind. The ones that I do remember are heartbreaking. I used to love science, and I loved learning. A science fair was coming to town, and I couldn't wait to be a part of it. Somehow I thought that I'd be able to showcase my talents, and the teacher and kids wouldn't be so hard on me. I wanted to be an oceanographer. So I created a project about fish. I was able to get a large piece of styrofoam. I cut it out into the shape of a fish. On one side, I carved the organs. It was a thick piece. Each one, I painted a different color, each organ. I made a tiny flag for each organ with the name of the organ and its function, handwritten. I glued the flags onto toothpicks and stuck them in each appropriate organ. This was done from the head to the tail. On the other side of the fish sculpture, I carved the scales, each scale, the eye, the gills, the tail, the lines in the tail, everything. I painted the fish to resemble a large mullet. That was Daddy's favorite fish. My report was handwritten and placed in a binder. The first pages were a drawing of the outside of the mullet and the parts of it clearly labeled. That's why I didn't put the flag toothpick labels on the other side. I wanted everybody to be excited to learn about fish. So recognizing the fish was important. I worked hard and long on the project. Because I wasn't included in the class, I had time to write my report. The day before the judges were to arrive, we had to create our display. I was excited. My table was beautiful. My report, my drawings, and my list of references were on the table. They were down here on the table. And I had them placed so they were in order. You could see the binder first, and then I had my references where I gathered all of my information, and then my drawings. My report, my drawings, and my references were on the table. My stand was created from a box that I covered in a cream-colored velvet fabric. My tablecloth was white, and standing tall from a dowel that led to the box was my amazing fish sculpture. It was finished. Everything was ready. The next morning, I was instructed to go to the science fair room to check my project for the last time. When I entered the room, all the projects were up, except mine. I slowly walked over to my table. The only thing on the table was my white tablecloth. I stood there. It seemed like hours. I was in shock. My teacher came over and said something. I don't know what. I responded in a low voice. Where is my project? She said something else. I couldn't move. She took both hands and forcefully pushed me out into the hall and told me to go to my desk. I had never experienced something like that. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know how to feel. I simply didn't understand. It was devastating. My mom was a teacher and worked in a different city than the one we lived in. When she came home, I told her what happened. Mama held her head down and said, all of that work. She pulled herself together and prepared dinner. After we ate, she explained that what had happened was fear. They, meaning the white teachers, and those white people, back then it was men, over the fair, thought that my project had a chance of winning something, so they removed it from the competition. She said they made it disappear. We cried. Mama said to keep holding on and to hold my head up in the hallway. You see, that's where my desk was, away from the class, out in the hall. Why? I asked Mama. She said, for the next girl that will come through. Because of what you suffer, she just may suffer a little less. How you handle it, they may allow her to be a part of the science fair. Mama told me, try not to think of yourself. Think about the next little girl who will be forced to attend that school. Well, the story doesn't end there. About 2 weeks after the fair, we were in the downtown area. Mama went into the shoe store to look at shoes for herself. I stayed in the car. When she came back to the car, she was different. My dad asked if something had happened in the store. She started crying. We just sat there until she got it out. Mama said, "They don't even care if it's seen." My dad asked what she meant. Mama explained that at the end of the counter, up, still on the dowel, was my Styrofoam fish, clearly displayed as a decoration in the shoe store. We sat there in the car, no one saying a word. Daddy started the car. Mama looked out the window at the shoe store and said, "Can you see it?" Daddy looked. I looked. There it was. The colorful side facing us. The side with all of the organs. We sat there for a few more minutes. And then we went home and never talked about it again. Our wonderful Savior did it for us. Christ suffered, bled, and died to give us life eternally without violently protesting. I was in the 5th grade. For the little girl who had to come after me. For my mom's dignity. For my life today. For my nieces and nephews. For the friends I hoped to have again. For my dad who had to keep on living. To give myself a chance. I couldn't violently protest. I need you. Don't do something that will make us lose your chance. In my handmade life, this one is both a skyscraper and a rooster.